Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. Peace be upon you all. This message is for the international community who are now watching Indonesia closely. Indonesia is an extremely diverse nation. This is a nation of 254 million people, comprised of more than 400 ethnic groups, with more than 700 spoken languages. And the population spread in 6,000 islands out of 17,000 islands of this archipelago. We have always upheld unity and celebrate diversity. This is a nation where you find union and unity, where in many countries you often find the presence of union in the absence of unity. The world is experiencing polarizations across the globe in many places. And our challenge today is to continue celebrating diversity while maintaining unity. Recently, the world is watching Indonesia because of the blasphemy case. And allow me to also underline that our democracy and our freedom of expressions is rooted not only because we had liberated from authoritarian regime into democracy in the past 15 years, but the root was founded more than 8 decades ago, when Indonesians decided to agree upon one common language. And that one common language was not the language of the largest ethnic groups. Instead, it was the language of the small ethnic groups. Yet everyone agreed. More than 700 spoken languages, more than 400 ethnic groups agreed on one common language. And that common language became the glue of the nations. And on top of that, we agree that everyone is equal before the law, and that everyone have equal opportunity in this country. Aristocracy was abandoned, even though the founders of the republic were the children of the aristocrats. It was a country, it was a state that was designed based on idea, based on vision. And this is rare. And that every groups, based on identity, be it ethnics, be it religious groups, were accommodated in this new state. And all of this process took place before the presence of the state. Now, when we had democracy, the foundation was made long ago. And today, what we are seeing is an aspirations channeled through peaceful means, demanding that the blasphemy case is being processed in a due process in the court, respecting law enforcement, respecting rule of law. Democracy in the absence of rule of law will create chaos. On the other hand, democracy with rule of law, it will strengthen each other. And that's what Indonesia is undergoing. There is no threat to diversity. There is no threat to unity. What we have today is a legal case that needs to be processed through proper law enforcement in a professional way. And what better way can we see that when people demand something to be enforced, and they did not express it through riots, through chaos, through violent means, but through gathering and demanding in a peaceful way. Isn't this an example of freedom of expressions? Isn't this an example of respecting rule of law? And that's what we are now experiencing. So I'm calling to the world to look at Indonesia simply as a model, as one example, that we allow democracy to flourish. On the other hand, we want to make sure that rule of law is respected. And when the two work hand in hand, Indonesia will become a consolidated democracy. Indonesia will become a country with rule of law. And on top of that, Indonesia will continue to respect diversity and maintain unity. This is a message that the world needs to understand, and this is the message that the Indonesian people were collectively sending to the world. Thank you. Peace be upon you all. God bless you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.